All right. Now it's recording because that's how we start stuff on here. What is this unnamed podcast going to be called?
That's a great question. Right now, the only thing I can think of is Until Good Game Do Us Part. Don't laugh, dude.
I want to know, like, what that'd be a very good topic. What makes a good podcast name? Like, that makes it, like, speak to me. I mean, because, like, my other podcast is, like, Old Men of K-Pop. And, like, every now and then I just think about it, and I creepily think of, like, two really old men at K-pop concerts. And then I remembered, like, the majority of the fan base is, like, 13-year-old girls. And I'm like, maybe we should change the name of this podcast. And my roommate's just like, no, we're good.
I mean, technically, the title's not wrong, because it's like, even though you might not see yourself as an old man, the people at the concert are looking at you like, yo, this dude is way too old to be here.
But you know what I never understood? Like, what's the phase out, should I say? Or, like, what's the cutoff? Because, like, video games, it's like, oh yeah, you could be, like, 55, and, like, or you could be, like, 60, like, still playing games and shit. But, like, what is the cutoff for K-pop? Like, where is, like, you really shouldn't be here?
Okay, so because I don't listen to K-pop and I'm not invested into that ecosystem, to me, K-pop seems like a rabbit hole. So can you actually phase out of it?
I think you can. I think we talk about this all the time, how there's a lot of, like, toxic culture in there, and, like, I think there's like a very big toxic culture, and, like, you wouldn't even believe it if you think about, like, a toxic culture in, like, gaming. There's like a really bad toxic, like, culture in K-pop, and it's mostly coming, like, from, like, in, like, Korea though. There's, like, many fans who are just, like, they say to, like, artists and stuff, like, on their, like, stuff, they're like, you should just kill yourself because you did that, or, like, you ruined this and stuff like that. I mean, like, 2 artists from, like, this company called SM got kicked out essentially because the fans didn't like that they were dating, because
I think I read that.
It was like one guy was from a boy group and this girl was a solo artist. So, like, she was just like, they came out publicly that they've been dating for, like, over, like, 2 years or some shit, and everybody was just like, this is ruining my thing, I don't like this, I'm not. And then, like, there was, like, supposed to be a fan meet for the boy group, and, like, half the people refused to come, or, like, they, like, sold their tickets or some shit.
Sheesh.
So, like, then they ended up terminating their contract.
As artists, like, with who they were signed to?
Yeah.
Holy.
They, like, put them on a hiatus, and then they just, like, were like, fuck it.
So from you being, like, I guess, well invested into K-pop, would you say that, like, when it comes, like, the way that you see the toxicity when it comes to, like, Korean players, you're saying it's worse?
I think it is worse, and I think it's also it's the idea of, like, just that sort of culture doesn't really do mental health very well. I think it's like a lot of Asian culture, like, doesn't do, like, mental health well. Like, and some people don't believe in it. It's, like, a legit thing, and, like, a lot of my friends be like, yeah, my parents don't believe in, like, mental health days. They don't believe in, like, anxiety. They don't believe in, like, depression and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, it's a whole thing, and
I think that also comes with, like, just older generations.
Oh, yeah. Well, South Korea in general has, like, some of the highest suicide rates. Wow, this got really dark.
Hey, man, we talk about real shit here.
We talk about real shit only.
All the real shit.
Speaking of real
focus on
shit,
gaming.
Speaking of real shit, hi, I'm Hank. That's Troy. And
we didn't introduce ourselves.
No, we did it.
And this is episode 1.
This is episode 1, and we were just like, fuck you don't get our names. No, I'm Hank. Troy is here.
Yeah, I'm here.
And we're recording in Waypoint Cafe because we said, you know what? You know what's a really good place to record? A very loud gaming
cafe.
In a PC cafe.
On a random day when they're like, yeah, we're having a tournament. Are you guys in it? And we're like, nah, we're just here to, like, record some shit.
First off, like, I don't even know what I was about to say about that.
I know at some point that this audio probably sounds like trash, but at some point we will get better. This is episode 1, so you're gonna have to deal with that shit.
I was literally like, we could record in my place.
Yeah, but I'm stubborn.
Yeah, you really are. I think you just wanted the ambiance of being in a cafe.
Yeah, I gotta be, like, in the right mindset to talk about games.
Well, because I think you're from. Is this a thing in DC? Are these things?
What, gaming cafes?
Yeah.
In the city of DC, no. Literally okay, so let me explain. I'm not actually from there, but when you live within
fucking poser.
When you live within a 30 minute range of being able to drive to DC or get on the train, you technically are from there because it's easy. So like, you can't tell people like you're from Virginia. They're gonna be like, where is that? But like, if you say DC, they might say, where is that? But they're more likely to know, oh, that's where the president lives. Anywho, in the city, was like maybe 2 arcades, and one of them got shut down. It was an arcade and bar. Everything else is kind of like bars with like a few arcade games, but like they're not focused. So like anything that's like PC gaming or whatever is like out in like Annandale, which is probably like 30 to 40 minutes away from DC. So like I guess you would call it like our Korean town, but yeah, they're all there. And like, I think one of them recently got shut down. So it's not big as far as like,
right.
You know, being like, oh, I'm going to go hang out at the PC cafe. There is the cave, which opened up across the street from Mason University.
Who the hell was like, I'm going to name this place the Cave. It's going to really get people to come.
Dude, I have no idea. It's called the Cave Gaming, so I don't know if that helps, but...
That does help a little bit.
Yeah, I just left that part off because I figured, you know, you would assume that...
Why
you're going to because
that?
if you're going to a PC cafe, you're not going to say, like, oh, I'm going to the Cave Gaming. You're going to be like, oh, I'm going to the Cave.
Or you'd say, I'm going to Cave Gaming.
Yeah, but, I mean, the Cave sounds way better.
I mean, here we're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to... we don't say, I'm going to the Waypoint Cafe. You're right. We say, like, oh, I'm going to Waypoint.
I mean, it's also not called the Waypoint. It's called Waypoint Cafe. Versus the Cave Gaming is actually called the Cave Gaming. All right, so we're going to try to get into some topics. We got some real shit that needs to be discussed about gaming.
Oh.
And when I'm talking about real shit, I'm talking about the real shit.
All right, because I had some real shit to talk about, but...
And I've got beef.
Oh, you got... With who?
The mother... You fill in the blank. Yeah, fucking industry.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, we can curse, right? Like...
Yeah, I don't really...
I was like, are you going to go back and edit all this and censor it? Cause
I mean, there might be some points. I don't know. It depends on how people react. Like, yo, I don't like the cursing in it. Well, go listen to another fucking podcast.
That's it. Just keep going. Fuck.
Yeah, just go listen to a fucking other podcast.
Guess I'll fucking die.
All right. So we discussed this yesterday briefly, and I felt very judged.
This is Apex again.
And
it is.
I don't know why I felt judged, but I could just feel like it wasn't a personal attack, but I definitely felt like, you know what? I can't wait to talk about this because, like, it just gets me going. It gets the gears grinding.
Is it
like,
really about Apex?
It's not solely about Apex. It's more of the BR craze, but Apex falls in that category because it just released and it's the new hot shit. And let me just tell you that it's not shit, but it's also just a good game that is a game.
I think it's very fun, and I don't you kind of. I think you're very jaded in your BR-ness because you've been.
I'm only jaded from Fortnite. Goddammit.
No,
we can go into that later.
No,
but
you're jaded. I think overall because I think you're so invested in PUBG. And that you want PUBG to get so much exposure.
No.
And then when shit comes along like Apex and just like the spotlight goes away, you're just like, yo, fuck this. You get on your soapbox.
I don't care about PUBG having... Okay, I'm not going to say I don't care about it. I'm okay with where its exposure is now. The issue that I have with especially BRs at the moment is that as soon as a BR is announced and released, it doesn't matter how many hours someone has put into it. The top... I'm going to just say top 40 streamers, doesn't matter, whoever comes to your head when you think top 40 streamers. The moment they get their hands on it and start playing, the game instantly skyrockets. Dude, I'm going pro in this game. I just left my Overwatch team to go pro in Apex, or I just left my PUBG, like just some outrageous shit. And it's like, you do realize that the game's been out for X amount of days and you've only played 10 matches. How are you going pro in a game that has not established any type of grassroots competitive scene yet? Like, it's not going to happen within a day. Especially when the game didn't have a beta.
But you know it's going to happen.
But that's the issue. We can't keep pushing. Just because something new doesn't make it great. I'm not saying Apex is shit. I enjoyed playing it. To me, it just felt like a generic BR because of all the other aspects and other games that we've seen before. Overwatch, League. It's all there. So it's like, and again, that's what I'm saying. It's not new stuff. And that's why I get why it's fun. But we've seen everything. It's just now in a BR.
Yeah, and I think that's what people like. I think it's like, oh, okay, well, okay, I've seen this. I've seen ultimates. I've seen side abilities. I've seen like shit. But like it's just like, hey, it's all in one place now. And it's like I think Apex Legends is almost at the point where it reminds me of like if Overwatch had like a battle royale mode, because it's taking like iconic. I'm putting that in quotes. Characters.
Yeah, he did quote fingers
from Titanfall, and then being like, oh, but what if they were in a BR setting, and like, but and they still have these ultimates, and they have like other things going on. So I think that's really the appeal of it.
So it's more of the appeal of things that people are already familiar with being in the hottest game mode at the moment.
Yeah. And I think it's like it's a nice balance, and I think it's like a midway point, not balance, but it's like a midway point between being like super fast paced, like hyper, like Fortnite, and being like kind of slower paced, like PUBG. So I think there's like it's not as hyperactive, but it's not as like calculated. It's like right in that middle, I think, and I think that's why people enjoy it. But I can agree with you that like we do push competitive stuff way too easily nowadays.
So with that being said, from what I just gathered, so you're saying where the game sits to you, you would say the game is almost like casual, correct? Like if you play it casually, it's super super fun.
Yeah.
So why are people so eager to push things into the competitive realm, leading into what you were just saying?
Because money. Because people want to make money. At the end of the day, you have to remember this. Like you look at Overwatch League. Overwatch League, it was like this like huge thing. Like everybody was like, it's not gonna fucking work. Like, who the fuck's gonna watch Overwatch League? Who the fuck's gonna come to an arena and fucking watch it? Like, yeah. And then what ended up happening? It became this big thing. It sold out Barclays Center. Like, and yes, even on the weekends it was usually sold out. But like on like the Thursday games, it was like half full. But still, like, they made money. They invested all this shit and they made money back. And it was like the first time that like they were like, these players are gonna get contracts. They include like health insurance and benefits and housing and all that. Like, and of course, housing's always been a thing in competitive games and stuff like that.
And it needs to fucking stop.
What?
Team houses need to stop.
I mean, like,
that's a topic for another day.
I'll send you a link later. Like San Francisco Shock's like new house is like ridiculous. But anyways, it came and it was like this thing of like, wow, this actually fucking worked. And I think ever since then, and we've been like the culture's more ready to push towards that stuff. And yeah, we've had like ESL and like events like that. But like for some reason, I feel like that idea of the Barclays Center, the entirety of the tickets in the Barclays Center have sold out. It's like very enticing to people, and I think that's why like when a new game drops and you see any kind of potential in it for being like competitive, you're like, holy shit, we could do this.
Yeah, but don't you think we need to like let the game marinate more, aside from giving it 4 to 5 days and then everyone immediately?
Well, I think this is just the culmination of everything. I think now we're at that point, because I think previous games it'd be like, all right, this game's been out for like a month, maybe it could have like some competitive, and then like I think that's sort of shortened to now we're at the point where like a game pops off and you're like, this could totally be a thing. We could totally go professional in this. I think I don't want to say tolerance, but I don't know how to describe it. Like our limit, or like just that the threshold of like us being like, it keeps getting lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if like the next game that comes out immediately is like we're gonna have pro stuff. Like the next big thing is gonna have pro stuff. I mean, like if you remember, even like what was that MOBA on the phone, Arena of Valor?
Yeah.
Like when it first dropped, they like immediately were having tournaments and stuff like at like PAX East or like.
And that's what needs to happen if like people are gonna like if that. But that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like it's different from like a consumer point of view, and then like the publisher developer side. Like if the publisher and the developer are pushing for it to be an esport, and like that's how they're coming out and saying like, hey, at some point this is gonna be competitive, and like here's what we're gonna do, versus like the community just gathering together immediately as soon as like day one drop, and then be like, yo, like we're gonna make this competitive.
But you know, as I said, I think as a community, our threshold for like seeing the potential and stuff is really low nowadays.
Yeah.
Because you know, people want to make money, and like it's such an enticing thing to be like, hey, imagine you can make money playing video games. It's such an enticing thing.
Yeah.
And it's like. And I think like way back in the day when YouTube like just started and all of a sudden it was like, hey, you know, you could like, I don't know why I'm so tenderly talking to the mic. It's like, hey, you could make money from videos that you filmed in your house. And people were just like,
them on the internet.
People were just like, what?
Yeah.
And it became this thing. So and now it's like, I think, and then like streaming became a thing. And I think like now we have the idea of like, oh, hey, like even when Mixer came and like people were signing exclusive contracts when Mixer first came out.
Yeah.
That it was just like, it's a thing. It's just this thing now of like enticing people to want to make money. And it sounds terrible. And I love gaming. I love being part of communities.
That's why we're discussing it.
Yes, I know. I love going to like Overwatch League events, and I love going to like PAX and like TwitchCon. Yeah. Actually, never mind. That's one of my topics for why I don't even like TwitchCon.
Well, we might talk about TwitchCon on an episode 2. But no, like I'll be one of the first people to say, like, honestly, after I saw Overwatch like do the whole trailer at BlizzCon, I was like, I know, because this is Blizzard and Blizzard does esports, I was like, I know this is going to turn into one. But like it felt like as soon as the trailer dropped, even with like, what was it, the alpha, like beta, like, and people are like, oh, I'm leaving my league team to go pro in Overwatch. I'm leaving my CSGO team. It was like, bro, the game's not even out. Like, I get that it's a beta, but I'm like you don't even see how the ecosystem that Blizzard, like, what if it's an ecosystem for a game that you don't agree with? Like, now you're already, like, invested all this time into going, and again, like, you can always just drop out of a game and pick up something else that you might be naturally good at, but it's like, it's still an investment of time, and everyone always says, oh, when you hit the age of, if you haven't been playing video games since the age of 5 and now you're 17, you're getting old in esports. And it's like, have people not seen Virtus Pro? These dudes are like old. It's like CSGO team playing. But it's like, if we're gonna put the whole stigma of you're only but so young to like, and you remain, you know, and healthy enough to play, like, is that not a waste of time to say like, oh, I'm going pro in this game, and then like you might not be like, you know what, I don't like where this is going, or I don't even know if this is gonna be competitive right away. So it's like, I feel like it's more of like a community, like you said, the threshold is small, but I feel like as a community we need to like step back and be like, hold on, I get that this game is new, but like, how is it gonna work as an esport? Because BRs, for an example, PUBG, Fortnite, whatever BR you want to say, they're still figuring stuff out. They're still having issues when it comes to like, how should the structure be, you know, point systems and things like that. So it's like, what do we do as a community? How do we, people that actually care about the community, step back and get other people to say like, yo, like, let's like slow down here. I get that you want to go pro, but
slow down, grab the wall.
This is not that type of podcast, sir.
What? Oh, all right, whatever.
I mean, it can be, but
I think, and you're right, we do need to kind of come to like an agreement, like, what are we fucking doing with video games? Because and that's actually the big takeaway from this, is not every game has to be a competitive thing.
Exactly. Some games just need to be a game.
A game. And it's like, it's like, there are a lot of games where it's like, if it's competitive, if it's online, it's like, we can find a way to do this. It's like, no, just let it marinate. Just let it sit there.
Like,
you don't, like, and I think that applies for everything.
Yeah.
Like fighting game community, like FGCs, like MOBA players, all that stuff.
Yeah, so that's our point, guys, is it's okay to want to have a competitive scene, but like, give it time.
Yeah, and
don't run off a beta.
Not everything is gonna pop off and be like this thing, and like, don't invest your time sometimes in being like, this is it, this is where I'm banking it all. But I think also in that retrospect, I think that's what's a good thing about being like a pro gamer, quote unquote, is that if you don't feel like playing something new, you can drop it and you could start something new, and hopefully it works out.
Yeah.
I myself can't do that.
Someone just popped off in a Dragon Ball fighter behind us.
Fighter Z.
How come there hasn't ever been a Dragon Ball game, like just Dragon Ball, like Goku as a kid? I'm not talking about Kid Goku. I'm talking about Goku as a kid.
I don't know.
Have you noticed that?
Why don't you fucking send an email to Bandai Namco and be like, yo, what the fuck?
Because there's some shit I heard about.
Also,
there's some shit I heard about them that I don't want to.
Oh. Also, Bandai Namco, what happened to your fucking support for My Hero One's Justice?
Ooh. Henry's got some
I'm really mad at that. I love My Hero One's Justice. That shit dropped. I was into it. Like, me and my friends were playing it all the time. And then, just nothing. They released one DLC character. Or technically two, but, like, one was, like, day one. And then they were just like, never mind.
Oh, so it was more of like, hey, we forgot to put this in the game, but here's some DLC.
Well, essentially, it was the game's been out in Japan for like a while. So when they dropped it here, they were like, "Hey, this dropped in Japan, so we didn't include it in the English release, but now here it is as a day one. Here you go."
Did you have to pay for it?
If you pre-ordered, you got it.
That's a finesse. I hate when publishers do that.
And then like a month or two later, they dropped another character. Ever since then, nothing. I tried to go play online. There are no American players playing. It's just Japanese players who have been playing the game for fucking a year and like just shit on my life all the time. That's why I don't play fighting games. It makes me so mad. But I don't think I have just a technical like prowess to like play fighting games. You give me a shooter, I'm like, yeah, I shoot guns in real life. For some reason, that somehow translates. It gives you like weird situational awareness, but all right.
I guess you in a sense play the scenario in the same way. Like, oh, if I'm shooting a real gun, I don't want this to happen to a video game. So like, I'm gonna react the same way I would.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know. I think if I had one wish in my life, it was like. It's like, can I just be in a community that isn't a terrible fucking toxic community sometimes? Yeah, I'm my actual job is I'm a nurse, and like, it's like that is like the purest community I'm part of. I feel like, and even then, there are certain aspects of the culture where you're just like, fuck, like the airsoft community is like fucking terrible. Sometimes, like it's kind of a terrible mess sometimes.
Well, you gotta remember, we live on Earth, in the world. It's a terrible place in general, but that was like we kind of went off on a tangent. I was just curious because we're getting like the Dragon Ball like RPG, which I'm really hoping is an actual RPG and you can navigate through the world and not like a partial RPG where it's like, hey, you just finished this fight, go over there and grab that Dragon Ball. All right, we're gonna send you into like 10 cutscenes.
Did you just fucking shit on Xenoverse just now inadvertently?
I just bought Xenoverse like 4 days ago, and then got a refund for the first one and only played like 2 hours. To the point where I couldn't get the refund for the second one, and I'm like, oh. But Xenoverse was more of an RPG than I expected, but less of an RPG than I expected at the same time.
Yeah.
Did you play like Dragon Ball Tenkaichi or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you remember like you would get into a fight and there would be like a cutscene, and then it would be like, oh, go look for the Dragon Ball, and you fly around the world for like with a radar or without a radar. Yeah, that was like the partial RPGs that I was talking about. But like, I'm hoping like this Dragon Ball Z is true to like an RPG fashion. But I was just curious, like, I don't think I've ever seen, like, a Dragon Ball game with, like, Goku as a kid. Not Kid Goku. I know those are different things.
Hey, Bandai Namco, get on that shit. Okay, thanks.
We'll see where that goes.
Got $1 million idea for you.
But something that I know that was very near and dear to your heart that you brought up earlier is, like, the health of players and stuff like that into esports. You want to like deep dive into that?
I honestly, I wanted to not even just esports players, but I think just like Twitch players in general, and like, or just like, I more so wanted to go into like how Twitch players really treat their own mental health, and how, and I think esports is starting to get a grasp of like, man, we should really take care of our players. I mean, I'm like when Shanghai Dragons in Overwatch League, when they were on their 25th loss in the league, like they actually hired like a therapist to come and talk to the players and be like, how are you doing? And they finished 0-40, but they at least had somebody who's like, hey, how are you doing? Yeah. Like, would you like to talk? And then like and like some of the players, like one of the players from NYXL, like the stage 2, he was like, I'm not playing. And they were like, well, why? And he was like, I'm not in a good place. And they were like, okay, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's work it out. And then he came back in stage 3 and was like better than ever. Yeah. And I think esports is starting to get it. And I think that's great. And I really think just mental health is so fucking important because we neglect it so much, I think, in gaming culture. We're so toxic sometimes, especially when it comes to competitive stuff. And you've seen that clip where it's like, if you couldn't survive here as a here you or like it was like gamers today can't survive in this environment, and it's like the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 lobby where like the dude's just like fuck you, your mom's a bitch, blah blah blah, and it's like we are so used to being like that in gaming, and I don't think we realize how much that shit builds up, and how much it actually triggers us and makes us like it's not like it's like I'm not saying like it makes you a violent, angry person, like no. I'm saying like that sort of mentality. I think that kind of stuff just starts to sit with you, and I think being called a piece of shit on a regular basis like kind of starts to like reflect. And I think we're starting. I think especially I think in esports we're doing a better job at being like, let's not be so fucking terrible to each other. Let's be more civil. We can trash talk a little bit, but let's not be like your mom's a whore, like shit like that. The one place where I think mental health fucking really fails is Twitch streamers. I think the way that what
I said, boy, what a world.
I think Twitch streamers who literally like are like, I'm gonna stream every fucking day. I'm gonna do this. And then like 2 weeks later, they're like, guys, I'm really fucking mentally burnt out. I can't do this right now. I need to take a day off. I'm so sorry. Don't hate me. And it's like, I think that is so fucked up.
But you know why they have to? They feel like the need to have to do that, right? It's because they lose their viewership because people are like, oh, well, you didn't stream on Wednesday, so I'm going to go watch someone else. Oh, you streamed on Thursday? Well, too bad. I've already found another streamer that I enjoy more than you. Bye. And those, right now, numbers are what matter to people. It's not about the passion of doing it anymore.
And I think that's fucked up. I think, people, it's funny because there are people who are like, I saw like someone did a Instagram AMA and they were like, and somebody was like, they're like, well, what should I stream? And the person was like, well, what do you mean, what should I stream? And they were like, well, what game should I stream so that like people watch me? And like the answer was like, no, just do what makes you fun. Do what's fun for you. Do what you care about. And like just have fun and people will come. And it's like, you could say that, but then at the same token, you're still one of those people who are like, I'm streaming every day, guys. I can't do this. I'm burnt out. I can't do this. And it's funny because I used to and like fucking chastise me if you want, but I used to laugh at when like Twitch streamers would be like, I'm burnt out. I can't do this anymore. I can't because I've experienced nursing burnout and I know what that's like. And I've experienced where it's like I have watched like people be really sick. I have told family members terrible news. I have, I did this all in like one 12-hour shift. Oh, am I back for another 12-hour shift tomorrow? Oh, fuck, I am. Like, I don't want to do this. It smells so good right now in this cafe.
I don't know what they're cooking. If it's like bacon or...
It's definitely bacon. And I've experienced that. And I think once I got more and more involved with, like, the gaming community and meeting friends, I kind of realized that gaming burnout is definitely way different than, like... That's than nursing burnout.
You get gaming burnout not even just from streaming. As someone who works in the game industry, you get it. It's so much easier to get. Granted, with like this isn't like a sob story or anything, but like granted, streaming you can play whatever you want. But imagine, like as a nurse, you go in for 12 hours, and you have to come back. Imagine playing your not so favorite game 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day, and it's not in the greatest state. It's unfinished. Again, this is a game that you don't enjoy. So like. Not saying that it doesn't, like, of course it happens on Twitch, but I'm saying, like, imagine, like, if you guys had to do that, and it was like, oh, I'm not playing games that I actually enjoy. And some of you should stop playing games that you don't enjoy just because you're trying to be the next Ninja or top streamer, Dr. Disrespect, like,
someone
you're
just
not him.
That was just some weird-ass shade you just mixed into
No,
that.
it's not shade. It's because, literally, like, we all know these guys are, like, the big dogs of, like, Twitch. Like, everyone wants their viewer count. You guys aren't them. You yourself, like... Be yourself. Like, you don't need to be them. I mean, it's cool and dope to strive to want to be better than them, but it's like, you got to do something different.
I mean, there are a lot of people who, like, they start off being like, I'm going to play this, and, like, they get viewers, and then they're like, tonight we're playing this, and then, like, everybody's like, fuck that noise, and then they leave their stream, and everyone's like, well, I guess I'm stuck playing this, and I feel bad, and I think that's how I feel like the burnout is way different than...
Is that why so many people are now variety streamers? Tell me you haven't seen that more often.
You know what? What's funny is you see a lot more people who do IRL streams before they actually do gameplay stuff. Like, they'll be like, we're doing an hour of IRL because I need to mentally prepare myself for this one fucking game I'm going to play all night.
or is it to mentally prepare, or is it to bring people in, boost up that viewer count, and then because there's going to be lurkers.
Yeah.
So it's like by the time you switch to the game, those people might have like walked away from their computer and it's like, oh, I still have the viewer count from my IRL stream. It does drop, but
yeah.
I don't know if me personally, I look at that as more of like a tactic or a ploy versus like, I'm going to mentally prepare. Hey guys, let's have a conversation in chat. It's like, nah, you're trying to get those viewers up real quick.
Do people actually have conversations on their IRL streams?
I've had conversations with people in the IRL streams, but I also don't go into like a lot of streams that have like plus, let's say like 800, 600, pretty much in a chat where I know the comment's not going to get read and it's not like a genuine interaction much. Yeah. So,
where was I going with this?
I don't know. I've been kind of like slightly eavesdropping on the guys that are yelling behind us, but I don't know if they're like if they're debating on a rock, paper, scissors to start a match or not.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know if they're starting their tournament behind us or like they're just, I don't know. All right, anyways, moving on.
But yeah, we kind of went on tangent a little bit. You were discussing like mental health and just player health in general for players and streamers. Speaking on that, do you think in your head, what does a retired streamer look like that's not in a super spotlight right now?
Oh, I was about to say he's just a coach, but
oh no, I don't mean the sense in like a player or like a retired. I'm talking about a streamer who's like, hey, I stream full time. What does their retirement look like?
Oh,
because I asked this on Twitter and no one had a response.
It's weird. I mean, it's weird. It's a weird thing because you don't have benefits or like you don't have set benefits. It's like I think about it as like I have a 403b, I have a Roth account. I have 2 Roth accounts actually. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying like I have that. I have like health insurance. I have these things that are just like my job was just like, hey, here's this thing. You want it? Okay, here you go.
Yeah, and those are super important.
And it's like, and now you think about it, it's like, what do Twitch streamers do? Like, do they take all that money and they put it in a savings account? Do they? And I think the biggest thing, and I think the thing that it is, merchandise. I think that's what the retirement plan is for Twitch streamers, for streamers in general. I think that's the end goal. I think, or like that's a really good end goal. Because if you look at Ninja, if Ninja stopped streaming as much as he did, he would still make bank on the merchandising, and like the things he does and the endorsement deals he's signed and stuff like that. Like he's gone beyond just his computer and stuff. He's gone into branding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what it is. I think it's like if you take your face and you apply it to a product that's not related to gaming in a sense, I think that's you end up having like a sustainable lifestyle after like when you're not streaming as much.
So do you think that like people who aren't at the start, okay, how will we level streamers? Like superstars, a star, popular, basic.
Wait, what?
Wait, like I'm trying to set like a tier list, right? So like if you had to put Ninja and like if you had to put streamers into like a category of like where they sit in the world of other streamers, would you say Ninja is a superstar, right?
Probably, yeah. Because also you have to understand now he was like in an NFL commercial randomly. He had like a New Year's Eve thing in the city, as if we're not in the city. Like he had one like I think in Times Square.
Yeah.
Like
for New Year's, yeah.
I think for him that makes him like a big thing.
Don't ever try to get all those people to dance like that ever again,
yeah,
Tyler.
No.
Yeah, I'm calling you by your real name.
Oh.
Don't ever do that again. That was terrible. Anyway, aside from the point.
I think you move down to like your next would be like a star, like Dr. Disrespect. Like he's not having like big things like that, but like he's got his own like G Fuel brand, like he's got stuff like that. He has like merch, and then you slowly work your way down to people who like. Then you have like people who have like just they have their own merch and stuff like that, and like but that's not their main source.
So what would you list those categories at? So like we're putting Ninja as like superstardom. He's the Drake of Twitch. We're just gonna say that.
I mean, it's like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, but like.
Oh, okay. I mean,
what would you do like superstar?
How many tiers are you gonna go down though?
I would say I would definitely say there's at least like 4 tiers. No,
we should name the tiers so people know. I don't just want to get people like, oh, I'm a tier 4. No, I want you to.
I think if we did like tier 1, it'd be like superstar status.
Okay.
And then like tier 2 would be like
a star.
Tier 3, I feel like would be like popular. Tier 4, I would probably say just like
well known. Discovered,
well known, and then tier 5 is like I would say it's
everyone
like,
else.
I would probably say like tier 5 is like no, I would probably call it as like working there, like the working class. That's what I would call it. Like the working class streamer.
So we're gonna say tier 1 is superstar, tier 2 is star, tier 3 is rising star, tier 4 popular, tier 5
working class streamer.
Working class streamers. Okay. So do you think as a working class streamer, if you're able to hit, say, popular status, right? And we're just making this up as we go. If you're able to hit popular status and you're starting to get associated with brands, HyperX, G Fuel, any other DX Racer,
I think that's when you hit that tier 3. Is when you get a sponsorship deal.
No, not sponsorship. Okay, let me rephrase that. Not being affiliated with them, but you actually are signing a deal with them, getting sponsored. Do you think that those people who are in that tier, from rising star to below, anytime they're going into some type of deal with a brand and they're giving that brand exposure, do you think at some point they should sign a contract that says, hey, I want X amount of money, or I want X amount of shares into this? Because at some point I get how big these brands are, but at some point you have to leverage what you're bringing them. And right now, streaming is bringing those companies a lot of revenue.
I honestly think that you need to be stopped. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I think the biggest thing is I think you should initially be like, hey, give me X amount of money. And then as soon as you see things, be like, hey, listen, I want some shit in this. Like, I want a piece of this. Because I think if you came right to the table and you were just like, hey, like, think about it like this. Like, if you were just like immediately like, hey, I want a share of this. I want like a piece of this. People would they would be like, no, get out of here. You're done. But I think you would have to be like, hey, pay me this amount. Cool. Pay me a little more. Cool. Hey, I'm doing this. Wow, a really good job. Like, do you want more money? No, I don't want more money. I want a piece of this.
Exactly.
Oh, well, okay, you've done X and X and X for us. All right, we'll give you back Y, Y, Y.
Yeah, and this isn't to say like. So the thing that I started to realize is that the music industry and gaming are like, if not they're relatives, right? They almost act in the same way. So you can be an independent streamer and not be like associated with any of those brands or things like that, and just do your own thing and make your own money, right? We're more talking about the people who are invested into like getting these deals, and like we know like you want the extra cash flow. You might believe in the company, but you want that dollar, right? So you're saying, well, they get what you're saying. At some point, you need to know like your worth and be like, yo, like the check isn't like, let's talk like percentages. Yeah. Like, I'm not talking about like a percentage of money, or like if I bring you X amount of customers, you'll give me this amount. Like, no, I want part of share.
Yeah, and I think especially in the gaming industry, especially as players and like gamers and stuff like that, I think a lot of it is on their shoulders. It's up to them to work their way up. It's not like you get hired for a job and they're like, all right, well, you're getting this and this and I want this from you. Okay, cool. A gamer has to more so be like, I've done this, this, and this, and this. Yeah. I want. It's a lot of like, it's essentially that idea of like, the Vine where it's like, or the YouTube video or Instagram video, I forget what it is. The work don't stop, the grind don't stop. I think that's what it is. It's a lot of like the grind.
Yeah.
And I think, and a lot of people, I read an article where it was like, when did it become okay for like, why are all millennials like on this like chronic or addicted to working? And I think it's because a lot of the career choices that a lot of millennials or people like our age are making are have to be. You have to grind to get these things, because if you stay stagnant, you won't. It's not a regular 9-to-5 job where it's like, okay, I'm stagnant, I'm still here, but I'm still getting money, I'm still getting health benefits, I'm blah 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 blah, whatever. I can still
and shit's mad expensive.
Yeah, and shit's very expensive. I really want some Supreme shit, so I gotta work for it, whatever. And And I think that's what it is. I think it's a lot of us choose these careers that like are like, hey, I can't do this if I stop. If I stop, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And not like I'm dead, but like if I stop, I'm done.
But I got to do what I don't want to do to work to survive again.
Yeah. And it's also like the idea of like, if you, let's just say you get to a point where you're like, hey, I'm popular now. Many times it's like, if you're like, all right, I'm gonna take off. Like I'm popular now. Like I can rest. There is no rest.
Yeah.
Again, and it goes back to the idea of like retirement, where it's like, well, you have to find something that you're still out there without busting your ass, which is why I think it was brilliant when Ninja like did like the merchandise and stuff, because it's just like, hey, it's like my name's still out there and I don't have to do anything really.
Yeah. You think he's getting royalty from that?
I mean, it's his own thing.
No. I'm talking about like the commercials. Do you think like?
Oh, absolutely.
So you don't think he got like one check for like, hey, do this commercial, we'll give you this one big ass check? Do you think every time that commercial gets played, he's getting? I think he
signed a brand deal with NFL.
All right, if he did that, he's definitely the Drake of Twitch.
I think he did, because it would only make sense for him to be like, hey, we're gonna collaborate, and it's gonna be like our thing.
Yeah. And I can see him doing that only because like I can see him doing it and not doing it, and for these reasons of like he's been getting so much exposure and like taking deals that he might not even be aware of certain things. I'm sure I know he is, because I'm pretty sure he's a smart guy, but like I think it's also possible that he could be unaware and be like, oh, I'm just gonna take this one big ass check. Again, I don't know his pocket. I'm not really pocket watching. I don't know his financial situation. I'm just saying that it's possible.
He's not. He signed a brand deal with Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like he signed a deal. It wasn't like, hey, do this thing, here's a paycheck. No, he signed a brand deal with Red Bull. He like a regular athlete, he signed a brand deal.
Yeah, but signing a brand deal and doing one commercial is different.
No, but I think he was like, listen, I did this shit with Red Bull, I should do this shit with NFL. And I think that would be the smartest move for him. Oh, that dude's got an iPhone cord. I could really. Hello, sir.
Why do your AirPods have a cord?
My AirPods don't have a cord.
Oh. Okay, so there's maybe it's just a New York thing, but is there somewhere that I can get a Canada Goose and like AirPod starter kit?
Wow.
Is that?
First off, it doesn't have to be a Canada Goose jacket.
No, it does.
It does.
That's
not.
Like a standard in New York.
No.
Everyone thinks it's Tim's. It's definitely Canada Goose now.
It's not the Canada Goose. It's a jacket. It's a winter jacket with a fur hood. That's what it is. With
a Canada Goose patch? Sometimes
it is. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it has some faux ass Canada Goose. Sometimes it's something different. But it's always like a winter jacket with a fur hood. Maybe Tim's, maybe not, and AirPods. We don't wear hats because we want to show off the AirPods.
So you guys are flexing.
Like I feel weird when I wear a beanie, like as I'm walking to work.
And someone tries to talk to you,
and I'm like, oh shit, they don't know I'm wearing AirPods, and I just rip off my hat for some reason.
So AirPods are a flex?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do they not really fall out? I'm too
broke. They don't. They're great.
You're speaking broke right now because like I don't have the money to have AirPods, so I'm just curious. And this is not gaming related at all.
I'm gonna suck Apple's dick for about 30 seconds. I love AirPods. They're very comfy. They stay in my ear. They have really good sound quality. I like the fact that my music pauses when I take out one headphone. I like that I can double tap the fucking side and it skips to the next song. All right.
They have all your information now, all through your brain.
All right, it's fine. Do you know what I'm thinking about?
I'm not Apple, so no.
I'm usually just thinking about,
Interesting. So you're cool with Apple just like having all your information and you having to buy a new phone every 2 years because you run out of space?
Sometimes. It really be like that.
You know, if you went to like Samsung, you wouldn't have that problem, right?
I don't care.
But you should.
But why?
This part of the conversation might actually get people like, it's gonna get like people who might be listening to this who don't care about gaming as much, like a little bothered. Like, no, fuck Samsung, iPhone all day. Or vice versa.
Wait, yeah. I think we're just going to get into a quick phone conversation.
No, I was just wondering about the standards of New York and their Canada Goose love and like AirPod love.
No.
Even though people in gaming are definitely trying to get this AirPod thing popping, like, nah, chill. Chill with the AirPods and chill with the fake Yeezys.
I own one pair.
Not you.
I'm just kidding.
I own one pair too.
I'm just kidding. I own 2 pairs.
All right, weird flex, but okay. No, there are definitely some people in the industry that got fake Yeezys, and like, I don't know them all individually, but I know they're definitely wearing fake Yeezys. There's no way all of them got those drops.
Nobody likes you.
Either they're fake or they definitely played higher than retail.
Yeah, probably more the title.
And it's okay if you pay higher than retail, but don't try to throw that in my face when you overpaid for a shoe.
It's a weird. I don't think there should be a crossover with street culture and gaming culture.
Wait, street culture or streetwear?
Streetwear.
Okay,
not street culture.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like
those fall in different.
Like there shouldn't be a. There shouldn't be a.
That was a really weird pause, and people are not gonna understand what just happened.
And we're not gonna tell them.
I might tell them.
I really don't think you. I don't think it's just like this weird like. Don't mix those cultures. Like I feel like it's gonna bring out the worst in people. I mean, there was a time when Soul Dynasty signed like a thing with Nike, and they all had like brand new Nikes, and like when they walked up to like the stage at the arena, they like all like squatted and did like the pose and shit, and they were like, hey, and I'm like, what the fuck? No.
I feel like I'm okay with it. It's just like, see, the thing that bothers me about streetwear, and this could be like me being an outsider looking in. So many people are like, oh yeah, like I got this, I made it this, and like made it my own style. But it's like, you look the same as the next person.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like I'm wearing like a primitive hoodie, and like I have a bomber jacket, but I know there's somebody probably who actually probably has the exact same outfit as me, maybe different colors. And also, fuck you, Primitive. I'm throwing that on the record. Fuck you, Primitive. How dare you just try to come at me and be like, hey, man, buy our shit. And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, what if we fucking put freaking Morty on it? What? Okay, what if I put Dragon Ball shit on it? Will you buy it? I mean, maybe. What if we put Sailor Moon? Oh, okay, now I'm buying it. Guess what? I just ordered a fucking hoodie from Primitive that has tuxedo mask on it and roses on the fucking sleeves in black.
What is it about?
Fuck you, Primitive.
What is it about that, like...
But just throw the mic down.
The moment that Dragon Ball gets thrown onto any product, people immediately want to buy it.
Because you know what it is? It brings you back to when you were a fucking kid and you wore the fucking Hawaiian t-shirts with like the Dragon Ball, like when it had just Gotenks on the side.
Oh, you're talking about the silk button-up shirts?
Yes.
Oh,
because it's like you wanted to do that, and you wanted to look cool. And nowadays people are like, it's like you want to look cool and still be like, you want to wear Dragon Ball? Fucking buy this. And then you do that, and then you do look cool, and people are like, shit, that looks cool. And then they're like, holy shit, is that Goku on your fucking sweater? I didn't even realize. You look badass. There's a pink sweater that says Primitive in like purple lettering, and then Frieza's in the middle of like the Prit and the Mitiv.
So
and like,
so is Dragon Ball Hypebeast?
It is.
So is it the Hypebeast anime?
I think so.
Oh shit.
It is. Now I brought it to your attention. Now you're like, fuck, he's right. And that's what it is. It's the idea of like, it's like you want to be cool as a kid, but people shit on you. It's like, why the fuck is this?
Well, that's because kids are assholes.
And that's what I'm saying. And then you're like, you still have that fucking scar. And then somebody comes along and is like, hey, do you want to look cool? And you're like, well, what? And they're like, do you want to look cool? And you're like, well, yeah. And they're like, but you like Dragon Ball Z. You want people to fucking know, right? And you're like, yeah. And then here we are.
So, as someone who doesn't watch a lot of anime, if I only watch the entire Dragon Ball like series, could I get away with being cool if I only knew about Dragon Ball and not other animes?
Yeah.
All right, I gotta set this plan into motion because I get tired of people shitting on me. Like, oh, you don't watch anime? No, I'm sorry.
Listen, just watch like basic. Just watch Dragon Ball Z. Watch My Hero Academia.
Somebody tried to shit on me for watching Initial D, and they're like, "Why are you watching that? It's old." I'm like, first of all, just because something old doesn't mean that it's bad.
First off, who said that? What's their name? Are you gonna?
I'm not gonna expose them on here.
Can you give them give me the first letter of their name?
I won't expose them on here.
No, just give me the first letter of their name.
Because it was weird. Because I'm like, okay, why is it because something is old?
Because I need to address this right now. No. It's boiling.
No, we're gonna address it, but. My thing is, why is it when it comes to games and anime, right, and music, do people feel the need to be like, if you like something that came out last week and something new dropped the next week, why were you listening to the thing from last week? People like, yo, fuck that joint's old. Why are you still listening to that? Why are you still watching that? It looks bad. I'm like,
why are you playing that?
Yeah, why are you playing that? It's like, you
Well,
realize
it's like people who nowadays it goes back to the Apex thing. It's like, why the fuck are you playing Fortnite? Apex Legends is here, my guy.
it's like, Initial D came out in the 90s and you're judging the art when it was one of the top anime and like manga. Like,
all right.
what the fuck?
Two things. Whoever said that to you, fuck that person.
No, I told him that. I was like, get the fuck away from me. Don't talk
Fuck
to me.
that person. Because Initial D is amazing. It gave us like Running in the 90s, which is one of the best songs to ever drive to.
Thank you.
You ever drove 120 miles an hour on a highway and just like Running in the 90s is playing?
Yep.
We are running. You ever shoot dance to that? Because I have.
Never done. I can't say I've done that.
Second off,
how you gonna knock a show with that amazing, like, discography of music on it?
you would
Like,
never have Eurobeat would not be a thing without Initial D.
If you think anime OST tracks are the shit, go listen to fucking Eurobeat, and I bet you that shit'll be stuck in your head. Everyone's like, no, you gotta listen to anime openers and enders. Fuck that noise. I'm gonna go listen to some Eurobeats. So, yeah, I don't know. That was fucking weird. They're like, why, like, I had just finished it, and they were like, why are you watching that? And they're like, I was like, why can't I watch it? They're like, because it's old. And I'm like, what is its date when it was created have to do with if it's enjoyable? They're like, it's about cars. I'm like,
it's about cars and love.
That is true.
That shit fucked me up. That taught me about unrequited love. That didn't even teach me about unrequited. That shit taught me about, like, and it prepared me for that. Because I will never forget in Initial D. Did you finish it?
I finished the first stage.
I'll never forget.
One, but I know what happens.
Takumi was madly in love with, what's her face? I forget that girl's name. And she had a fucking sugar daddy. And, like, she loved Takumi, and Takumi loved her, but it just didn't work out. It just never worked out because she had that shit going on with him. And that shit prepared me for life. Because when I was
prepared you for Twitch life?
It did. It prepared me for Twitch life. Not even when I was 17.
Some of y'all know what we're talking about. Some of you don't. Some of you are
prepared me because it prepared me of being like meeting a girl at like a con and being like, shit, this girl's amazing. Like, I like being with her. I got her number. Like, blah, 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 blah. We texting and stuff. And then you realize the fucking sugar daddy is the gaming world that they're in. And like, they're like so deep into it. And it's like, they can't leave it. And it's just like, you're just like, and like, you could tell they like you and you like them, but it's like, we live different lifestyles. And you're just like.
But is it different lifestyles if you're both into the gaming world?
Not if you're like me, where it's like I'm the day walker of this shit, where like I got one foot in it, but like the rest of me's like in other things, and like I have a different lifestyle than most people who work in the gaming industry. Like sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I gotta grind and do my shit, but sometimes I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna go to work and then come home and fucking order a fucking fancy ass salad and then go to sleep. Like I'm not like constant, like I like. It's not like it's not like my livelihood sometimes where I'm like, oh, I gotta stream tonight if I want to like make money and eat dinner and shit.
Yeah.
But like again, we're gonna have a whole episode about dating. You know this, right?
No, if we do that, I want to definitely bring someone here because that's important. No, that's really important. Like, because there's so many times where I'm like, yo, how are these players like who are being forced to practice 80 hours a day, like able to maintain a relationship?
How do they have like really good relationships? I don't get that.
I'm not gonna say they're good because I'm not in that relationship, but it's really weird. And that's part of the reason why gaming houses need to stop.
Gaming what?
Gaming houses. But we can talk about that on the next episode.
All right. Our next episode, like when we record next week, or like,
I don't know. That's a good question. We could just make it a part 2 and call it an episode.
Could.
Because, fuck what you think.
How long have we been recording for?
Long enough. About an hour. 54 minutes.
All right.
I don't know if people are tired of us talking.
No, they're definitely not.
No, they probably are.
Why?
Like, why the fuck are these two talking about shit that we don't care about, or I do care about, but I'm too afraid to say it? That's right. I'm saying the shit that some of y'all are scared of.
Yeah.
Like, fuck Apex. Even though it's a decent game.
Fuck it. I like how we started this with like, hey man, Apex, man. And now we're ending it with fuck Apex.
No. Fuck Apex, but not for what it is, but for what it's become to some extent.
You guys have ruined it. No.
Look, it's a good game.
It's now 4 days, you ruined it. That's what Troy's saying. No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm saying stop saying that you're going pro in a game that's been out for 5 days. That's what I'm getting to.
He's so angry.
I'm too passionate about how are you going pro in a game when there's no you can't even solo queue. You're forced to 3-man. Like,
yeah. So you get more friends, duh.
Who plays games to make friends? Yeah.
And that's the problem with the
debate it. Is that toxic? We don't play games because if you think about it, games are just entertainment. So you can play it to not make friends. And that's why I don't feel like every game should be forced online. Looking at you, Destiny. Because sometimes I just wanted to PvE without actually having to be connected to the game online and be like, oh, you got a gig update. But I hate Destiny for other
reasons. We gotta have a quick moment about something real quick.
This is a long pause.
You know what it is? I'm like really stunned by you going, we don't play games to make friends. And now I'm like thinking about it. I have made more friends that like outside that like work in the gaming industry, but no relation to gaming at all. I just realized that.
Wait, say that again?
Like all my friends that I know or like I've become friends with that like work in the gaming industry, we never became friends over video games. And it really bugs me now. You and I became friends because we like drinking and talking to...
First of all, I don't like drinking. I just so happen to end up situations where people are like, yo, drink. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to kill the vibe, but like at the same time, I really don't want to drink this.
To be fair, you had a good time last night.
It was all right. It was enjoyable. I have to tell you about my Lyft ride afterwards.
Why?
Not on the podcast, after the podcast.
Oh.
We can... Actually, yeah, I can tell you that now. So,
fuck yeah.
All right, I don't know. That was episode 1.
Also, real quick, shout out to the girl who dropped, who just left money in her Uber.
Yeah, don't yell at your Uber drivers or Lyft drivers.
Like I felt bad
because your Uber driver will tell you listen and then not say anything and hang up on you.
I felt terrible, and I was like, wow, there's like a whole lot of cash here. I'm like, should I take it? What did I do? Like, I found it, and then we found a purse, and I was like, but it wasn't in the purse, so like maybe it's not hers. And then, like, she called the Uber driver, and she was, like, drunkenly demanding he brings their, like, the purse.
I might cut this part.
He probably will. All right, fine. To make it sound like terrible people. No. So is that it? I think that's it.
I don't know how to end it.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. If you want to hear more weird rants, you can follow us on Twitter. At HFrank with 3 C's.
You're not going to like my tweets. Don't follow me.
You could follow me.
Yeah, follow Frank.
I should start plugging my merch. You should buy Sad Boy gear.
Do it.
Yes. Teespring. Just look up Sad Boys, and you'll find my merchandise. My favorite shirt is the Emotionally Supportive Side Piece. Troy, where can they find you?
You can't find me. Don't look for me. I don't want to have conversations with everyone about gaming. Only certain people. Even though the conversation needs to be had. Some of you guys just don't understand. But, don't. Okay, you can find me at TroySif_ on Twitter. That's probably where I'm most active. You can follow my Instagram, but you're not going to get much from there, and it's just little black writing in the hood.
Yeah, it really isn't. Just post more.
No, I don't like... No. But yeah, we're in Waypoint, and it's getting a little bit loud because this tournament's about to pop off, so... I don't know. We might sit here and record like a second episode or part 2. We'll see, but...
Guys, thank you so much for listening.
We love you guys. And, stop falling for the bullshittery in gaming.
Wait. I actually had a line. Stop chasing the juice.
Is the juice the clout?
Yes. Stay home and drink your water.
That's coming from a nurse, guys. Stay hydrated.